I'm Peter McCann, Northern Ireland correspondent with the Irish Farmers Journal. We're in Portadown in County Armagh today at a dairy conference organised by the Farmers Journal and also the Farmers Union. The conference focused on the future planning for the Northern Ireland dairy industry and where the industry is going forward in the next few years. One of the speakers was Dr. Joe Patton from Teagasc. He's a dairy nutrition and production specialist. Joe, where do you see the strengths of the Northern Ireland industry here, and I suppose possible weaknesses in it?
Maybe the strengths and the weaknesses are almost the same thing in a way, in that there's good productivity per cow on farms. Like they are looking at 7,000 plus litres, maybe 500 kilos plus of milk solids per cow, which is a strength. And there's a relatively good structure there in terms of, like, the family farm structure is obviously strong. But maybe one of the weaknesses is that perhaps the focus on yield is excessive. It's just simply looking at volume litres might not be enough in terms of future viability, particularly when milk price is going to be more volatile into the future. So I think maybe a little bit of a redirection around maybe on the cost side of things, but also maybe the compositional quality of milk, given that that's where the market is going to be at in the future, would be something very welcome, I think, for the northern industry.
So in order to make farmers think about that, maybe move away from yields, high litres, some other speakers have alluded to the change in payment structure, perhaps similar to the A plus B minus C system in the Republic of Ireland. Would some high yielding, perhaps low solids farmers in the north lose from that, or in general, how would that play out in your analysis?
I think that I think it's important that we recognise, Peter, that if we talk about a payment structure that's based on solids, okay, and based on paying people for compositional quality, you still need to produce volumes of product. I mean, I think it's a problem sometimes that people think that an A plus B minus C type system is only suitable for a low yielding herd, or that it's something that's going to be that is going to penalise the high volume herds, and that maybe you're going to end up with breeding milk out of cows. You're not really going to breed milk out of cows. What you're going to do is breed solids into cows. So, like, if you look where the Northern Ireland average is at, it's at 7,100 kilos of milk produced per cow, which is a decent, strong yield, but it's not, internationally, it's not a massively high yield. So do I believe that you can increase the solids content on a national average herd at 7,000 kilos? Absolutely. Very, very doable. Can that be done profitably? Absolutely it can. Will farmers that are on very high volume herds now, will they lose significantly based on that payment structure? Our analysis is saying that they wouldn't. And it really comes down to, this is as much to do with giving farmers direction as it is to do with, it's not about, let's say, penalising farmers today. It's about giving farmers a direction for tomorrow or for 10 years' time. So our analysis, and we did it in the Republic of Ireland, when we looked at changing to an A plus B minus C system, what we found was that about 90% of the farms, maybe 95% of the farms, had very insignificant changes in their payment today. But what has happened over 10 years is that the average payment on all farms has increased significantly. And our estimation is that the change to solids and the extra solids in milk in the Republic, given last year's volumes, it's worth about 200 million, maybe 220 million euros extra milk value for the same volume of milk, which is significant.
So for a farmer in the north, if we are heading that direction, or if we are going and something more concrete comes out, that's the direction of travel, how does a farmer get there? Like, is it genetics it looks at, just changing breeding policy, forage, what?
Well, we've looked at that across a number of herds over the years, and if you want to break it down quite simply, in broad figures, you're sort of talking about, of the differences between herds, about 60% of it is down to genetics, about 30% is down to the nutrition, and maybe 10% is down to other things like calving date and other management aspects, age of first calving. But the genetics is the real driver of the thing. So if you did nothing except change the genetics, you're going to get a significant increase over time. The problem, I suppose, or not the problem, but the issue for farmers is, can they identify the correct genetics to do that? That's what they need, is good direction on what bulls what bulls to select to make that happen.
So just like, what does that mean really? Like, is it for increased solids, can a farmer stay with that same black and white type animal? Obviously a drastic Very short-term change would be Jersey Cross, that type of thing. But that isn't what you're saying, is it?
No, well, we have some herds. We have some herds now. They're a small number, and it's never too clever to just focus on a couple of herds. But there are a good number of herds now that are over the 7,000 litres, higher than the Northern Ireland average, that are touching towards 3.6 protein and maybe 4.3, 4.4% fat at the same time. So that's a significant increase to the value of the milk for those cows. So even in the current payment structure, Peter, and I think we have to remember that even as it stands with the current payment structure, you will still get somewhat rewarded for your solids. So it's still in your interest, even today it's in your interest to breed for solids. The problem is that it's not just strong enough, the incentive, to really drive a change for the industry. So if the payment structure changed, you would double the benefit. And it's all in farmers' pockets as well, which is an important point.
Dr. Patton, thanks for your time.